What's up, you guys? It's another episode of Glitter and Garbage into the Spellingverse. I'm Justine Marino.
Hi, I'm Daniel Webb.
Daniel Webb.
Hi.
Blair is here. She's passed out. She's in a very cute Madonna tutu dress.
Too cute.
Too cute.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here with another episode that is so near and dear to our hearts.
Heavy.
Heavy.
So good.
Episode 17.
Yes.
Entitled Stand Up. Up is in parentheses.
Yeah.
And Deliver.
Which is a play on words
Yes.
from the Edward James. Wait, is that his name? Edward James Olmos? Is that the guy's
Yep,
name? Yeah. A very famous movie of his called Stand and Deliver, which I immediately clocked. It has no relation other than a play on words.
Yes, no, it is a play on words because guess who's doing stand up in this episode? My girl Brenda.
She's such an artist.
She is just so deep and she's finding herself. This episode has so much in it.
So, okay, there's a lot in this episode, but one of them I was like, this is the first time I thought, I think I'm going to complain about the writing. Which I never saw coming. I never thought I would have a 30-year-old complaint about the writing of this episode. But it is all over the place.
There's so much going on in this episode.
I needed more. There's not a lot of explanation of how events lead, especially in the second half of it.
Yes, no, they really just, I feel like either some stuff was cut out for time.
This must have been a 90-minute episode that they had to clock down. I just don't know. There's holes throughout it.
It's so crazy. I mean, well, first of all, let's get to it.
Yeah.
The opening scene is so good. Andrea finds Brandon in the hallway and she goes, I've got a proposition for you. And he leans in, puts his arm around her and goes, your desk or mine?
I immediately am so offended.
Yes.
But they both do it. But that is an inappropriate thing to say.
I agree, but
your boss.
I think to your boss at the newspaper. Yeah. The thing that's fucked up to me is he knows she likes him and she's dangling it in front of him. That, you know, we've heard it's a big hog he has. He's fucking dangling it, but he won't give it to her.
It's the same. This is Brandon 101, typical Brandon, where he thinks he's blessing someone with his presence. Yes. Right. Like it's that weird. I know people like. Do you know people like that?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know how to identify it, but there's this guy I know who just thinks that he's so handsome and flirty that is a gift.
Yes.
Being around him is a gift.
Well, some people are so charming, and really, to me, charming is a red flag.
Huge.
And I was explaining this to a girlfriend of mine. I was like, well, she was telling me about this situation with a guy, and I was like, it sounds like he's kind of maybe like a narcissist.
Yes.
And I go, I mean, it does. You haven't said anything about him being super charming, and she goes, oh my God, he's super charming, and then.
Run screaming.
Exactly. Run screaming. People don't realize that it's like if you're being charming, you're trying to manipulate someone.
Correct.
Usually.
Why do people need to like you so much?
Exactly. And why do you need to like? I looked up charming synonyms like enchanting, magnetic, entrancing.
Correct.
Think about snake charmer.
Yeah, or just a lucky charm. It's a spell.
But also, guess who else was fucking charming? Ted Bundy.
Well, I mean, he's hot.
He's
Did you
hot
see him?
too.
He's
Yeah,
hot.
he's hot.
Like I'll never understand the people who think Manson was hot or
no,
compelling.
no.
But yeah, Bundy was hot.
He was cute.
But yeah, I think Brandon actually does have all the makings to be like a serial killer. He has a little touch of the sociopath.
I think so too. And like again, he acts like he's this really sensitive person, but then he's just jumping from girl to girl every episode.
This is a huge leap in the timeline, but I don't think we should. I think that like that's why Emily Valentine had his number. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like psychopath meets psychopath.
Oh, totally.
You know, that kind of a thing.
Such a toxic relationship.
But Andrea, she started this whole thing, right? And she doesn't reveal why until a little bit later.
Right.
So even her using the language, I have a proposition for you, and just jumping on him, like he sees her eagerness.
Yes. Well, she's always eager and horny. But her proposition is actually that she
Dangerous combination.
Dangerous. Andrea is so fucking horny. It's crazy.
Well, it's that one. It's like just do it and get it over with.
Exactly.
She has that vibe.
She does, exactly. So she propositions him to run for class president, student body president. And she says, I don't want the popular airheads to take over.
Full of judgment.
We're so much judgment. First
Full
of all,
of judgment.
My friends who were popular were some of the smartest kids in school.
Well, I don't know if I can back that up. Not in my world.
My best friend was very hot, very pretty, partied, and was super smart and got great grades.
So the friend that my mom told me I should never hang out with again and separated me from was this my friend, shout out to Kelly, who had purple hair and smoked cigarettes. And her parents were divorced.
Oh my God.
Right? And guess who was a PhD and lives in Leeds and got like accepted to MIT and all this shit was that girl.
Yeah.
Who I'm like, Mom, I could have a PhD, but you told me not to hang out with my smart friend.
Yes.
Because she had purple hair.
Exactly. See? So don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly. And I wound up smoking cigarettes anyway.
But exactly.
Right? Like I didn't need her to get me into that.
It's going to happen.
I quit, by the way.
Well, also, I feel like, Andrea says something like, oh, there was a candidate that dropped out.
Yes.
We don't know who it is.
She's a friend of hers.
A friend of hers dropped out. But also, aren't Kelly and Steve popular? Like, who are the popular kids at this
Who
school?
are the airheads? Yeah.
Who are these popular airheads?
Your friends?
The people you just had a sleepover with?
Right. And the people whose company she so actually desires.
Yes.
Yeah. Her bitterness is out of rejection. I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, she's manipulative from the jump though.
Oh yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
The weird thing is she's lining someone else up to be the face of her politics.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, I don't know. Andrea constantly contradicts herself for being of such moral authority.
Yeah.
She's running a political campaign that's already built on a house of lies.
Yes.
Which I don't know about your student council life in high school, but it certainly was not something we were attracted to the way the student body at West Beverly is.
Yeah, no, I can remember maybe one class president or so. I don't know that we had a student body president.
What was it? Student council? That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were. Yeah.
I went to a small all girls school though, so it was like a little different.
I will say this: it was the student council people. Those were that little group. Are the group of people who were at the 10-year and the 20-year, because I'm old, reunions, right? It's just that group of friends trying to get back together again.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean?
1,000,000%.
It's just that pool of people. I'm like, aren't we all friends on Facebook anyway?
We don't need to do this.
Who cares?
Okay, so then Dylan, we check in with Dylan and Brenda, but Kelly, Donna, and Brenda have some great fits coming down the stairs. I believe I said we are getting our first taste of Donna with the flipped hair.
Yes, I'm so into Donna with the flipped hair.
Yes, it's
and also,
so good.
And Donna and the Daisies.
Donna and the Daisy. That's what I'm saying. Donna was a real Daisy girl.
Little hippie girl. So it's the shorts with the daisies on it?
Yes,
Matching
I believe.
Crop top.
Look at that.
She outschools both of them, by the way.
1,000,000%. Yeah, Donna has such good fashion.
Now, at my school, Donna would have also been sent home for wearing this to high school.
I was going to say that.
For the exposed midriff, the close to spaghetti strap and bra showing. And of course, did you have the touch, the finger link thing?
I don't remember. I mean, again, all girls school, we did not wear a uniform, but I don't think that most people wore shorts, or if you wore them, it had to be like down to your knees.
But do you know what I mean? If if the tip of your fingers don't touch the short, then you're sent home.
No, this was more because we had a uniform in middle school, and it was like it had to be like just above your knee or below, which like none of us did that. We all rolled our skirts up because we were little whores.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, you'd roll it up. I was a telemarketer as a job, and one time you had to wear a tie every Friday, and my manager sent me home because I wasn't wearing a tie.
What?
I know, which was so funny because he was dealing cocaine to my friend who was 15.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, where are your priorities,
again, moral,
dude? Yes.
like,
I was like,
inconsistencies.
Okay, yeah, I'll go put on a tie. You can go to jail.
Yeah.
So backwards. But I honestly, Donna with the flipped hair.
So good. I love. Donna, Brenda, and Kelly. I love that they always give us a great shot of the three of them in just these very 90s episodes, and Donna's just burying them both.
I wonder if like it coincides with them like picking up Tori's option. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? They're like, maybe she will stick around for the whole season. So then she started dressing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's been a graduation.
There has been, yeah, totally. Now, and we see a little Tori, like we see a little more Tori in this one.
It's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Her character is inconsistent.
It is true. Now, Dylan, Brenda goes and finds Dylan, and he's going to visit his fugitive dad in
Mexico City.
And Brenda's not happy. He was supposed to take her to this club or something.
So moody.
She's so mad. She starts nagging him immediately.
Okay, really fast. In this scene, she's sad that she's not going to the club. But Dylan says you can use my name to get in.
Yes.
But they're going to the Fallout Club, correct?
I think so.
Which is what we see later.
Right. So I think Dylan, this is how I interpreted the scene. I think Dylan is just popular, very well known. His dad, I think, obviously is well known. And so he has access to all this stuff. Like, remember, he got them into an over 21 club, right? Brandon, when Brandon's girlfriend came from Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think he just has access. And so Brenda's bitching at him, though. She's like, ugh, she wants him to stay because she's bored, by the way.
Yeah, that's the first thing she says is, I'm just so bored.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, right now, he's not even out of town.
I know.
But yeah, she's sullen.
Yeah, she's sullen. But also she's like, I'm bored because she's setting up for wanting something more in her life. You know,
she's not bored with Dylan. She's bored artistically.
Now, this is what I love, though, is that we literally 30 seconds ago, Andrea was asking Brandon if he wants to run. 30 seconds later, at this scene, David is already interviewing Brandon on camera about running for president.
Yeah, he's already, and the school knows that he's running.
Yes.
And okay, so all of this happens very fast.
So like I was like, what? Like
it's head spinning.
It is
head spinning. But my favorite is not only is Brandon candidate number 1 and the school is abuzz with this new popular person running.
Yeah.
But Brenda has already fully internalized this and is mad.
Oh, she's mad. She's jealous. Brandon's getting attention.
So how many times has this already happened where Brenda cannot handle?
Well, the acting one, number one.
But this to me was the same. Like
it is
it's all that.
It's
like,
Brenda being like, when am I going to get my turn?
Yeah.
You know?
It's very much like, because my favorite is when they get home and the Carol Potter and the dad are...
In Brenda's defense, the whole episode, people are just kind of like, we don't care about you, Brenda, and no one does.
No one does.
So I'm going to stick up for Brenda here, okay?
I feel like we need, instead of Into the Spellingverse, I think you need to change this show to called In Brenda's Defense. I really think that's what this podcast has become, is just Justine having to defend Brenda.
Me explaining Brenda's poor decisions.
Emotional perspective. Well, it is, and the inconsistency in Donna Martin's character to me, and equally Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't really understand Kelly's. She has got a head on her shoulder. She has this political savviness, wherewithal. But they're immediately star fuckers for a politician.
Oh, Kelly is like so wet for Brandon running for student council.
When Donna kisses him on the cheek,
so then
later,
after they see this, they go to pick up Brenda and they come in and they just want to talk to Brandon.
Well, they're dolled up, to use a misogynistic term.
And
phrase, excuse me, but they are dolled up.
They are dolled up, and Brenda's surprised that they've even come in because normally they would just honk.
Why didn't you just honk?
Exactly.
Which is very true.
Yeah.
Right? Because all we see is Kelly in a different car honking outside every
Kelly
time.
barely. You're lucky if Kelly sticks around if she's driven you somewhere.
They probably had them come in because they couldn't remember what car Kelly was driving the last episode. So they were just like, let's just have him at the door.
Yeah.
I think, is it this? No, it's the next one where it's another episode I watched where I spotted my first boom mic.
Oh, that's such a special.
I really died, but I don't think I can't remember if it's this episode or not.
There's one period, it was like mid first season to mid second season. It's just boom city.
So there's two gaffes, pun intended.
Yeah.
In this one, but I think it's the next one, so I'll have to talk about it.
Okay.
My favorite thing is that Jason Priestley, Brandon, is already in over his head. Mm-hmm. Andrea is the head of his campaign, but somehow Kelly knows what she's doing and also wants to be his campaign manager.
Well, it's funny because I love Kelly is like, we really see where everyone's political affiliations lie, right? Because obviously Andrea is, I think, probably more progressive, liberal.
Yes.
Kelly is
well, she's third party.
Yeah, exactly.
Andrea is straight up third party. She's Bernie.
She is.
She has to run as a
Bernie.
Democrat, but she doesn't want to.
That is a perfect simile. No, metaphor. Yes, perfect. She is Bernie. She is so Bernie.
Yes.
Kelly is the non-voter, right? Kelly's like, I've never voted, probably because she's never been sexually attracted to anyone running, but she's voting this time and she wants to get involved.
Yeah, she can't wait to. Well, and my favorite thing is this like Battle of the Blazers. Did you notice how Kelly and Andrea are both
everywhere?
there? And multiple blazers. There's
So many
not
blazers.
just one. Yeah, but
once we get into the political campaign, everyone's wearing a blazer. Donna, Kelly, Andrea always wears blazers, but it's like blazers on steroids.
Does Brenda wear a blazer during her performance?
I think she does.
I believe they're shoulder pads.
Yes. No, it's a blazer. I noticed.
Sorry, blazer alert.
Blazer alert. What I love though is that Kelly's like, I want to get involved, and then Brenda's like, can we leave, you guys? Like they're so all over and enamored of Brandon.
That political dick.
They want that political dick.
They gotta get it.
But Tori, Donna gives him a kiss on the cheek. Like they are both trying to fuck so hard.
So in Death Becomes Her, there's a very particular scene where it's when Goldie Hawn is svelte and made up, and Meryl Streep doesn't understand what's going on, and Goldie Hawn is in a brilliant red dress and has this thick red lip, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And she intentionally plants this wet, glossy, like kiss on Meryl Streep's cheek, right? Just like mouth open, smack, which is exactly what Tori Spelling looks like she's doing. She does this like,
and and I was like, that's gonna transfer to his cheek.
It's a fish kiss.
Yeah.
And I'm also, doesn't she know, like she's in Andrea's territory? You know what I mean? Like, doesn't she know what kind of danger a Valley girl will throw down for her man?
Oh, yes. You do not want to mess with
fuck with the girl from the Valley.
Yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
But that was so out of character to me for
I thought it
Donna.
was really weird too. Like they were just like, what can we have Donna do? Like they haven't committed to a character for Donna yet.
Does she say anything in that scene, or she just kisses him?
I forget.
She said a couple things.
Yeah, I think she said a couple things. Nothing of note, but
there is, and I hate to always break it down to hair, but that's my favorite thing. This is when Donna gets into this like really wide part.
Oh yes,
it's just one of my favorite looks. I really love Tori Spelling's hair.
I do too, and I just the flip. She has such quintessential 90s hairstyles. And
that's the thing. Kelly, I will give credit to. She has hair versatility in this. There's a lot of updos. There's a ponytail. There's braiding happening. That's really good. But yeah, they're in the thick of campaign season.
Yes, they are. And Brenda runs upstairs to change her jacket. And Cindy comes up and Brenda's like, Mom, she's like trying to have a heart-to-heart moment. And she's like, Mom, I feel like I don't belong. And Cindy's like, I got to go help Brandon. He's running. Like no one gives a shit about Brenda in this episode.
She really does. It's after that Brenda has this moment alone where she just says to no one, I feel like I don't belong.
Yes.
And then they cut to commercial or whatever.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so dramatic.
So then we go to the club, the Fallout Club.
Which is,
wait, I wrote down what they referred to it as. It was a, where is it? It's a performance-oriented coffee house.
That one, which are all the rage. Is that what they say?
Yeah, but it's also just like clearly you're just trying to explain what this thing you made up is.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's basically a warehouse in Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah, it's I believe it's on Las Palmas.
But yes,
it's over there.
But they go in and there's a woman doing stand up on a chaise lounge.
She's laying down. Yeah.
I believe I grabbed a picture of it. Her name is Sky, because of course it is.
Well, and my favorite like stand up comedy is I'm a comic, you're a comic. Yeah. It's one of my favorite things in the world. It's also so cringe.
It's so cringe when you see it on TV or movies. I feel like they never do it well. This is Sky, you guys, and she's making points. And she is crushing with these jokes.
My favorite is in this whole episode is the punchline. Oh, you would never know where it was.
No.
Were it not for
the
canned laughter. Yes. If it weren't for the laugh track, you would never know that they were telling a joke. But in my favorite, she says, "My name is Sky. Yes, it really is. And my parents named that.
Yeah,
named me that. And my middle name is what?
I forget. Oh, but I forget what it was. It was just the hackiest jokes you could ever think of.
Who hasn't heard someone tell that set?
Yeah,
I've heard everyone with a particular name.
Oh yeah,
say yes, that's my name. My parents actually named me that.
Oh yes,
punchline.
1,000,000%. And then she goes, "My dad was in the Air Force, and my mom's a stoner, so my mom's a pothead, so that makes me an airhead." Huge laugh, crushing.
Wait,
crushing.
There's something she
POW.
Oh my god.
The permanently outcast
wuss.
Yeah, that's her big closer. Is like, I don't want to end up a POW, a permanently outcast wuss.
And people really hit the floor for that.
Oh my god, that one was like, it was like Night at the Apollo.
But the best thing is, Kelly immediately says, "It's not that funny."
Well, Brenda's enjoying it, and
Brenda's
Kelly
really relating.
doesn't like that Brenda's enjoying it.
Correct.
Kelly is so she's like she's such a bitch.
Well, the joke that Brenda could identify with was when she moved to LA. You don't join any cliques, join every clique.
Yes.
Which got a roar from the audience.
Yes.
And that's when Brenda goes, it's so true.
Yeah.
And Kelly goes, it's not that funny.
Yeah.
Because Kelly's clique number
clique
one.
person.
She's very cliquey. Yeah, I feel like they nailed an open mic.
They
though.
did.
They really nailed
did.
that
Yeah.
aspect of it. But then is that when what's his face comes out? What's his name?
Oh my God, the Jack.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so then they order drinks because Sky is also the server at this place. So she gets off stage and immediately takes their order. And did you notice, Mitch noticed this, Kelly and that's when Jack gets on stage.
Okay,
So
yeah.
Jack, and I believe I pulled a photo of Jack. You'll know him by the vest.
Oh my God, see my vest.
See my vest. But Jack is on stage doing his set. And he's a little bit more seasoned.
He's so professional. Obviously, I was taking.
This is him. You can tell he's hilarious by his vest, you guys. Like, I just love, throw a loud vest on him. That screams comic.
It is, though. Like, if you look up, Comedy Club 1991.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
It's someone wearing that vest.
But also, he has great hair.
Oh, yes,
Can we talk about his hair for a minute?
So he is do you know who Rick Dees was? He was a DJ,
DJ?
yeah, in the 90s. People know him. He was very, Casey Kasem was a person. He has major Rick Dees energy.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is, I think he's probably Gabrielle Carteris' actual age.
Yes,
right?
at least. He's age appropriate to date Gabrielle Carteris.
That part. Oh my God, have you watched this? This is such a leap. Have you watched The Curious Case of Natalia Grace?
No.
About the little person whose
No.
parents re-aged her?
What?
Oh, it's fucking nuts. This is such a leap. Anyway, but I don't want to give too much away, but you can re-age someone legally, which is, I kind of was like, I think that's what Gabrielle Carteris did.
Yes, I think so
she
too.
re-aged herself
I
and
think
then
so.
entered Hollywood.
Yes, absolutely.
But honestly, this guy's confidence was something I thought I could learn from.
I was taking notes, you know?
He has, because what does he say? Because he gets up and starts crowd working,
Yes.
which I love.
No, well, yes, exactly. And I like crowd work.
Hey, do what you got to do.
But it's so funny. So that's when they're ordering the drinks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he call Brenda?
Oh, what does he call her?
He goes, a hecklette.
Oh my God.
E-T-T-E, hecklette.
Oh my God.
As what that word might be loaded with chauvinism or
Yes.
misogyny or anti-woman vibes, but my God, that's a fucking funny word.
It is funny.
Hecklette.
A hecklette. Yeah, that's really funny.
Honestly, in my head, I was like, if I ever open up a comedy club, first of all, kill me. But
Yeah.
second, if I ever do, I want to call it the hecklette.
The hecklette. That's so good.
Great word.
Well, he starts doing crowd work on Kelly because she loudly orders her drink and says extra whipped cream, which this is what Mitch noticed is that Kelly and Donna both order these extravagant mochaccino with this and that, and then I think Brenda's trying to separate herself. She's like, I'll just have a Coke. I'm just a low key girl, you know?
Hey, I'm a poor girl from these streets.
Yes, exactly.
She wants to relate to Sky.
Exactly. So Jack starts shitting on Kelly and calling her spoiled. And he's like, oh, I bet you love shopping. Just all the most generic.
The best thing is he's right.
He's right.
He's like, what do we got here? Classic LA girl.
Yes.
Blonde hair. Too much makeup.
Yes. Kind of just shitting on her. But Brenda jumps in and fucking roasts his ass.
I love it.
Yes.
And the roast audience noises of everybody going, ooh.
Ooh, she got him.
So I'll ask this in regards to Brenda ordering a Coke. I'll just
Yeah.
have a Coke. Do you think that Brenda is a chameleon?
I do. I think Brenda doesn't know who she is. And I think that is supported by the end. In the end.
But do you, as a viewer, can you understand my frustration watching someone who has chameleon tendencies
Yes.
also have this strong conviction and indignant attitude when they are kind of malleable?
That is true.
Okay.
You're not wrong. Look, I see Brenda's flaws. I just, at this point, I'm just doubling down, you know? Brenda's my girl. And look, she has a few more flaws than I remember as a 9-year-old watching. But I'm Team Brenda forever. And
Does Sky ever say her age?
no, I was curious about that as well.
But she really relates to Sky. Sky's very welcoming.
Yes.
To Brenda.
Yes, and then Brenda says something about how she's like an accountant brat from Minnesota or something. And then Sky's like, we have so much in common. And I was like, did I miss something? Like,
yeah, there's this weird street talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this Milwaukee talk, or sorry, that's in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I know, sorry. This weird Minneapolis talk of being like because I guess she's trying to throw Jim under the bus with that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, welcome to Beverly Hills, you ingrate.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so then Brenda's wet for stand-up.
Oh, Brenda is, she thinks this is the coolest place she's ever been. She's dying to do stand-up.
And frankly, I started stand-up in queer bars, coffee shops, and like weird speaker shows.
Yeah.
Not comedy clubs. So I was really, this was very familiar, this kind of informal.
Oh, yeah.
Weird hodgepodge coffee house stuff.
Oh, this was not, I mean, I've done shows on the street before, like a walking show.
Oh, in Los Feliz.
Yes.
I love that show.
Natalie Portman walked by once.
Shut up.
Yes.
Are you serious?
She saw my set.
That's a good one.
Well, like she saw like 30 seconds of it as she walked by.
One of my friends from Austin, Texas, also one of my favorite comics is Maggie May. And on that same
Maggie
show,
May.
I love Maggie May. On that show, it was, so we're all watching a comic perform on the curb.
Yeah.
And Howard Kramer is a hilarious stand-up also. He goes, he's addressing the people standing in the street. And ladies and gentlemen, your next comic, Maggie May. And it's just Maggie from her car.
Oh my God.
Like Maggie's in the driver's seat with the window and she's like, just does her bit.
No, that it was
Hilarious.
like the weirdest, most fun show.
And somehow worked.
It really did work. It was so weird.
Maybe that's where Brenda should have started.
I think Brenda should have. Sky is Carol Burnett's daughter
Shut
in
up!
real life. Shut the fuck up.
But wait, is that the one she's no longer with us? Is it Carrie? Is her name Carrie?
Oh, so she's passed away?
I believe so.
Oh, R.I.P.
Okay, and quick follow-up question. Is it her older daughter? Because I believe Carol Burnett had 3. Sorry, I'm a Carol Burnett fag. You know Carol Burnett's from Texas?
I didn't know that.
Texas born and raised.
Oh,
lived on
that's so-
Yucca and I think Cherokee.
Oh my
Somewhere
God,
over
right in
that.
Hollywood.
She's Hollywood.
That makes sense. She looks like Carol Burnett.
I can't believe that's her.
That's crazy.
So last week we had Joan Rivers' daughter, and
Yes.
this week we have Carol Burnett's daughter.
And what a great stunt casting, you know?
That's crazy. Oh my gosh, I want to know.
She died in 2002
And
at 38.
Okay, so yes, I believe that in the 80s, Carol Burnett and her daughter came out because her daughter had substance abuse issues. They were on the cover of People magazine, and they
This
did
one, Carrie?
I think so. It's definitely one of her daughters, and I think it was Carrie because she, I think, succumbed to her substance abuse.
Oh, wow.
Or I could be wrong about all that, but that is phenomenal. I can't believe that was happening.
Thank
because
you, Aaron.
in the 80s, she struggled with it, and it came out publicly, and I think that's when she was trying to on the up and up and the upswing. I
Wow.
can't believe that.
That's crazy.
I love Carol Burnett for lots of reasons, but there's a reason why her kid doesn't look like her. Is because, and I don't know if you know this, but Carol Burnett was in Annie, and she filmed the movie Annie, and then she went and had plastic surgery, and then they had to do reshoots.
Oh my
So there's
God.
there's a scene where she goes into a room, and then when she comes out of it, she has a new nose.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's the Carol Burnett.
God, I love that.
Wow, what a fact! I'm so glad you found that, Aaron.
That's so cool.
Okay, no wonder Sky. She was a natural.
She was a natural. I did think she had. I bought it. You know what I mean?
More than Melissa.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry,
much more.
Melissa Rivers.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I definitely bought it.
So
Okay.
Sky's going out of town.
Sky's going to. So the next day.
Yeah.
Sky has invited them, Brenda and Donna and Kelly, to this like political. I think it's a political thing, like an event.
Oh,
like
yeah.
something to raise awareness. We don't even. I don't think know what the event is or
no,
the cause is.
It's not for the student council.
It's just
like-
these are deep people who work at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's the headline with this.
Yeah.
But so Kelly and Donna come over to Brenda thinks pick them up, pick her up, and they're actually there to help Brandon with his campaign. And so Kelly pitches herself as Brandon's campaign manager, and who shows up? His campaign manager, Andrea.
I thought I was going to do that.
Yeah.
That's what she says. Yeah.
Exactly. So Brandon pulls her aside and he's like, come on, I think all the help, blah, blah, blah. Andrea agrees to manage the campaign with Kelly. Brenda leaves to go to the Fallout by herself. Now, this is where she's hanging out with them and I believe...
Spitballing,
just taking it all in. I mean, and Sky tells her that she dropped out at 16 and Brenda's like just so blown away. She's so impressed that this person who dropped out at 15 who now works at a coffee
is
shop
a successful barista. Yeah.
Exactly.
Follow your heart, y'all.
Exactly. So Brenda's getting some ideas and then Sky says she's going out of town. Exactly.
Yep.
and Brenda volunteers to house sit for her.
Which this whole house sitting thing,
It was all really weird.
I couldn't they didn't even need this part of the storyline. I don't even understand it.
First of all, it's to watch this woman's fish. Can we talk about that? It's to watch a fish.
She had this halogen lamp in the background with the neon lights on it. Did you clock that?
No.
Oh, it was so cool. It was
That's
very
so
90s.
funny.
I loved it. But yeah, her like very hip apartment in Hollywood.
So in Hollywood.
I wanted to see the building, the exterior shot.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to drive up and down the streets till I find
Oh,
that.
yeah, me too.
I really am, with like a picture on my phone.
Yes. It's so good.
But her parents let her go.
So Brenda basically comes home and is like, I'm leaving school.
The whole bit. I'm leaving home and I'm leaving school.
Oh, yeah. So so I think first she says she wants to leave school to be like Sky because Sky did her high school equivalency exam.
Sure.
So she goes home and says, I want to leave school.
To make cappuccinos.
Exactly, to make cappuccinos. And then she volunteers to house sit. So even though the Walshes have said explicitly, no, you're not leaving school, she goes home and she's like, I'm moving out.
Yeah. And they kind of are like, well, we can't stop her.
And I'm like, you absolutely can. She's 16.
Yeah, she's like legally not allowed to be alone without parental supervision.
Yeah.
Or who puts their kid in an apartment alone in Hollywood ever?
And
like,
with someone
ever.
they haven't met? They have not met this Sky person.
In 1999, the original lineup of the Smashing Pumpkins did like a 6-city tour, and the last stop was at the Roxy in Hollywood, right? And I was a teenager in Texas, and I saw on the internet, and I asked my mom if I could come to Los Angeles to see my favorite band, the Smashing Pumpkins, and my mom said absolutely not, because she was right.
Yeah.
Yes, that would have been probably the night of my life as a teenager. That would have been the most amazing thing ever. But she was totally correct.
Absolutely.
In not letting a 16-year-old kid out on the streets of Hollywood.
But for whatever reason, Jim and Cindy, they're like, we'll let her go.
What's the worst that could happen? She becomes a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, exactly. And that's bad.
Yeah, that's
bad,
not good.
You guys. You don't want that.
Yeah, because what's-her-face has to leave town.
Yes, exactly. But I love Brenda goes over and it's just Sky's showing her around and she's just showing us like this is dangerous. She's like the locks are jiggly.
Gotta jiggle it.
You gotta jiggle them. But then I love she leaves and Brenda is living her best life. She's putting on her hats and her capes and admiring herself in the mirror. She could never do this at home.
She's like, but honestly, I feel like this is the third or fourth take where we see Brenda in a mirror putting on a hat. Like this is not the first time I've seen her in a Blossom hat.
I love it. Well, then the next day at school, she's wearing this outfit. She's wearing the hat and a dress, and like people are shitting on her. It looks like a coffee house outfit, a 90s coffee house outfit.
Great exchange between her and Kelly where she goes, Hippie Witch is out. And she says, it's not Hippie Witch, it's Twin Peaks and very in.
Yes.
And I was like, well, that's not an evergreen reference.
Yes.
But very accurate.
Yes, right? Mitch loved that. And Mitch is actually convinced that some of the writers were Twin Peaks fans because he has heard a lot of references.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are a couple other Twin Peaks references.
Oh, I want to know more about that.
I'll ask him. But as I was watching, he was kind of making dinner and going up, back and forth from the office. And he goes, oh, Twin Peaks reference coming up. He remembered it from when we watched it a few months ago.
So do you think that's where some of the weird dream sequences come from?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're always Brenda. Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have a weird dream?
Andrea does later.
Okay. Well, listen, Andrea is a mystery.
Yeah, Andrea is a mystery.
Is a conundrum.
I'm convinced she's like undercover CIA.
She's what is she? No, she's undercover boss.
Yes, she is.
She's Miss Teasley in Whiteface.
She is.
And she's trying to figure out who is hacked in to the computer system, the school computer system to change the grade.
Well, it's speaking of Mrs. Teasley, we have met now this episode our second principal that is not Mrs. Teasley. First we had the guy who now we never saw again. This other woman who I'm sure we'll never see again.
Yeah, she's gone.
Yeah.
But okay, so
So then the campaign, Kelly, let's go back to the campaign. Kelly is giving Brandon all this advice. He needs to look hot. She's actually running it exactly how I would run any campaign. Look hot, flirt with the girls, be charming, be a psychopath, basically.
She has all the demographics. More women vote than guys. You don't have to speak, only be seen.
Yes.
Whereas Andrea's like, what are the issues? What are you going to change?
How are you going to implement everything?
Which, so there were some analogies I was trying to do. I'm obsessed with politics. I just am, without trying to get too political.
Yeah.
There were some 2020 or 2024 campaign similarities, I thought, in this episode, because what was happening last year's in the 2024 election was this very thing.
Yeah.
Are you going for the Mr. Showman and Master Hokum? Are you going for the more boring option of things that will change and help people's lives?
Yes, exactly.
And Kelly is MAGA.
Yeah. Kelly
Steve is MAGA.
Yeah, well, and they are alike.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
I believe they're each other's soulmates.
Politics drive people in different directions for different reasons, but there is a superficial element to all advertising of which politics takes, and Kelly is really quick. She's fish to water.
She is. I mean, she's not bad at her job.
No.
And she bribes David with a date to shoot this crazy campaign video.
Yes.
They do headshots and then make posters and then shoot this campaign video that features footage that we've seen in other episodes. That where no cameras were. It's like, do they not think we know that's like outtakes from other episodes?
Like him and Jim playing basketball.
And him surfing.
Yeah, all of them. Some of the shots are from the intro.
Yes, exactly. Some of the shots are also from when he tried out for the basketball team.
That one.
It's like, that wasn't being filmed.
Or I was like, we saw this like 5 minutes earlier when we watched the intro song to the episode, right? Like during the theme song are some of those takes.
I was kind of living for it.
Oh, I was dying. I thought it was so funny.
It's just him looking hot. And I'm like, he has my vote. You know?
No
like,
problem.
He's
but
hot.
How many times, how many takes is it really just Jason Priestley mugging?
Oh, it was
like
it was like a full 60 seconds.
Unreal. How much of that guy's career was just that face?
Oh, you mean the whole career, not just the video. It is.
It is just that face.
It is. I mean, it's a really great face.
Those eyes,
the lips, the cheekbones.
All of it.
It's all there.
He should run. He's Canadian born.
He's Canadian.
So can he ever? Is he an American citizen?
I don't know.
This is a question for the people. Can Jason Priestley be president of the United States?
I would vote for Jason Priestley.
Sure. Based on this campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, based on
not
that
anything current, just this one.
So
we're burying the lead. And his
Oh, I didn't. Yes.
Brand the Man is the name that they're going with. They're like, vote for Brand the Man. He can deliver. It wasn't that the tag?
I think so. Yeah.
And Andrea's like, what is he delivering? Andrea's over it. She quits the campaign.
Andrea literally puts on her blazer and leaves the room. She puts on the second blazer I think we've seen for the episode and is out of here.
She was not about it.
But why? This is when she reveals
who
the fallen candidate really is.
It was her.
It was Andrea the whole time. She goes, when I told you I had a friend who was running, it was me.
Which he should have known that because Andrea doesn't have any other friends. Like, that should have been a big giveaway.
So this was honestly when the 2024 election comparisons really came to light.
Yes.
I was like, Andrea is not Bernie.
No.
She's Biden.
Yeah.
And she's too old to run. And so we have to remove her from the election and we have to bring in the younger, more attractive, more doable candidate.
Too old to run.
Brandon is Kamala.
Oh my God, what a flip.
I couldn't. The minute she said that, I was like, because she's too old to
That
run.
is so fucking funny.
The student body will not get behind her because she can't tie two sentences together.
I love it.
That she can't capture the youth vote.
No, she cannot.
So now Brandon is emotionally torn because now he knows he is letting his friend down.
Yes, and also Brandon knows, even though I think he deeply wants to fuck Kelly, I think he knows his instincts politically are probably more in alignment with Andrea's. But Kelly's that fucking hot blonde.
She's the hot one and looks better in a blazer.
She does look better.
So Kelly's very flirtatious.
He cannot run for president. He's Canadian with no American parents. Damn.
Okay, bummer.
That is a bummer.
I'm sure MAGA people will find some way to change the Constitution that anybody could be president. So there's still hope.
Yeah.
No, I really Kelly's very flirtatious with lots of people in this episode.
Yes.
I feel like she's always working Steve.
She's always working Steve.
Poor David Silver.
David, she's full on, which again, this is so weird, knowing that he's going to date Donna later.
Yeah.
Which I dated my second serious boyfriend. He liked my friend first. and took her to homecoming and all this stuff. This was like a year or two before we started dating, but then we started dating, and then I did always have it in the back of my mind that he really wanted her because she didn't like him.
Yeah.
So that's tough. I feel for Donna in the later seasons, you know?
I mean, I always feel for Donna.
Well, yes, you are Donna.
I'm fucking Donna. We need more lines.
Yeah.
And I man, if I still had my long hair, I'd be flipping it out.
Oh my God.
David, for being such a nerd, has front row access.
He does.
And a privilege. He's running the debate.
And that's what Kelly asks him to. She goes, here's what we want to talk about at the debate. And he's like, Kelly, he's already.
I'm moderating the debate.
He's like, he's already been a little shady with because him doing Brandon's campaign video is a little bit of a conflict of interest.
Which he owned up to.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But still did it.
But this one, he's like, Kelly, I can't. But then she's like, my phone number's on the back.
Full manipulation.
Kelly is manipulative.
But okay, so Kelly's doing this.
Yeah.
She's playing it that way. And Steve is over Brandon's shoulder saying, don't worry, we're going to win.
Right.
Like, he's got a plan also.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy to me that everybody's so involved with this election.
Well, also, can we talk about what a bitch, again, Kelly is to Brenda when the other campaign candidate comes up, Michael Miller.
Hiller. Is it Hiller or Miller?
I thought it was Miller. Whatever. Michael Hiller or Miller comes up to Brenda, chats with her for a second. How you doing, Brenda? She leaves. Kelly's like, you can't talk to him. And she's like, he wanted to talk to me. And Kelly's like, no, he didn't.
He's the enemy.
He's the enemy. He didn't want to talk to you. Get a life.
Yes.
Like, it's so mean.
So that scene's really funny because they're in the courtyard of the school. Brenda is writing her set.
Yeah.
She's become a stand-up comedian. That's all she can think about. So she's trying to write a tight 5. She's in the courtyard that is festooned, plastered, saturated with vote for Brandon posters.
Brand the man.
And they're a specific blue. They're kind of a royal blue color. And I love that Brenda is wearing a shirt that is the exact same color as the posters.
Oh,
Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. Did you notice Steve is in the green shirt?
Really?
In the very beginning, the first time we see Steve in this episode, he's in the green shirt.
He wears that shirt every episode.
Well, now I see it. I can't unsee it.
At this point, I've noticed it. I didn't even notice that one.
Yeah, no. You know in Schindler's List how there's that girl with the red coat?
Yes.
That's what Steve in the green shirt. It really is. Now you can't. That's all you see is the green shirt. But I love that they like. Brenda's trying to have this tender moment with the guy who's running against her brother. Who,
can we just say, is not the most popular. I mean, Donna flat out calls him a nobody to Brandon while also calling Brandon a nobody. She's like, he's also a nobody. No offense.
I love that the one line they give Donna is to be so dismissive of everybody else. I'm like, bitch, you're hanging on by a thread.
Have no lines.
Yeah, you are barely in this group. Meanwhile, Scott is seen, but do we ever hear from him?
Scott? I have so much respect for Scott in this episode because from the jump, Scott has Kelly's number. Kelly goes at the beginning. Kelly goes, David, and David goes, is she talking to me? And Scott goes, she probably wants something from you.
Yes.
And right away.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck yeah, Scott.
Yeah.
Yes.
He really does, though. So he does have one line.
Yeah, he had that line. Did not see him again.
And then the other thing I noticed is that he's David's like cameraman.
Yes.
Which they really put him in all these sad situations.
Yeah, they do. Well, and then the saddest is coming.
Okay, how does it come together that it's Brenda's house sitting?
Well, I forget something. She gets into like a little bit of she gets into a fight with Brandon and Kelly. Oh, well, that's later.
Oh, wait. No. It's early on when they're in Brandon's bedroom shooting the photos.
Oh, yes.
And Brandon's like on a chair trying to pose and Kelly's taking photos. That Brenda's in the bathroom, right?
Yes.
And that's the part where she's like, I'm leaving school, and Brandon really fast is like, Bren, you're not serious, are you? And then you don't even see her. You just hear her like, Brandon, we got to go. The photo place closes in an hour.
Yeah.
And then Brandon's just torn between his political career and his sister.
But he's like, political career it
so
is.
I think that's where the fight
That's where the fight starts.
becomes, yeah.
So then Brenda goes back to the apartment at the end of the day.
Her apartment.
Oh,
because doesn't she say something? Kelly, when you're living on your own, you'll know how hard it is.
Oh, yes. She and Kelly get into it. And Kelly says something like, oh, do you want to come help or something? And she's like, no, I've got stuff to do at the apartment. And she goes, what do you mean? She goes, Kelly, maybe when you live on your own, you'll understand what it's like to have responsibility. And I'm like, to feed a fucking fish, girl.
Like, you're not paying for anything.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I mean,
also, nothing has changed. She's just sleeping at this woman's
she's
house.
literally house sitting. Yeah.
But she goes to the apartment, and the apartment is empty.
Empty.
And what does she do? She sees that it's empty and thinks, oh, it's being robbed, and then goes into the apartment and hides behind the pillar. Doesn't run for her life.
No.
She hops into the apartment and hides behind a pillar.
But there's a guy in there, and she says, no, don't worry, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand that part. Like,
I think she thought that he was robbing the place and was like, I'm not going to tell anyone. That's why it was so weird that she like jumped into the apartment.
Yes, but was afraid.
It's like you were at the doorway, just run away. I have to say, Brenda defending this apartment, it's like she will not leave this apartment for any reason.
No, the other thing is I love when there's like a character has to like put plot information in their dialogue, which is common, but the repo guy has to deliver all this because the writing is so bad in this episode.
Yeah.
He's like, we can't help it if we have to take like whatever he says. He's like, we can't help it if we have to repossess everything and take all the woman's possessions because she hasn't paid the bills, and then leaves and we never see it again.
Yeah.
So clearly
Sky's not
derelict,
as successful as Brenda originally thought from her barista job.
Well, and this is the thing that people don't understand is that I do believe in the early 90s, barista could have a one bedroom in Hollywood.
Of course, yeah.
Things have changed. Yeah, that's the way. By the time Friends was a television show, that kind of apartment was not realistic.
Not available because it's a cute apartment. It's like spacious.
Oh, again, the halogen lamp with the neon lights. Yep. Like she had a lot.
The coral walls. I liked it.
The hat. Have you ever house sat for someone and put their clothes on?
No.
That's
so bizarre and creepy.
Such a violation.
Creepy.
Yes.
And then she wears her clothes to school.
Okay, so then it's later, but when she's making dinner.
Well, she says they took everything, and then we hear, you're something, right?
No, that is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's Jack.
No vest, right?
No vest. There's Jack there. And there's the outfit. There's the Brenda outfit, you guys. This is the Twin Peaks outfit. But Jack shows up in another loud print. Comics love loud prints.
You got to have a loud print with a denim bottom. Many things about this. First of all, why is he there?
So he shows up with canned spaghetti. Why does Brenda always have an adult love interest?
So many things. He is an adult.
He is 35 at least.
She's in high school.
Yes.
What is he doing there?
He shows up and brings dinner and then is like, oh, we can make it romantic.
That part.
He says something about it being romantic.
And right in that photo, in that scene, do they saddle up next to each other? He puts his arm around her or something?
It's something weird. It's definitely like it's going somewhere, but then...
Really? When is the last time you wore a hat while you cooked?
Indoors.
When is the last time you wore a hat in the kitchen?
First of all, Mitch does the cooking. I don't cook anything. I am not allowed near an open flame.
Really?
Yes.
You hear that, Runyon? I want to know.
You're welcome.
I want to know, like, does Mitch wear a hat when he cooks?
No, Mitch does not wear a hat when he cooks.
That's just very familiar. When you get home, do you take your hat off?
Yes. If it's like that, you take, especially if it's a blossom hat.
For sure.
You take it off.
Because first of all, it's a little flammable.
It is flammable.
That hat is not flame retardant.
About the wildfires.
No, she is not flame retardant.
No, she is not.
And the other thing is, why is she not suspicious at all? What is he doing here?
She is so trusting of every adult male that is clearly trying to fuck her.
And now that I see the kitchen, I'm gonna go take a leap and say that this is in Beechwood.
Yeah, I think Beechwood.
Right?
Yep.
I think that's a Beechwood
But also,
house.
I love every time they're at this apartment, they have like sirens and car honking so that we know it's in the city.
It's dangerous.
Danger.
So he shows up with food.
He shows up with food. Then we cut to a little bit later and there's a knock at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is there. Kelly, Donna, and Brandon are all like, hey...
Arm in arm, right? Yeah, or
Brandon has
shoulders.
Two bitches around. He has his arm around two ladies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
They all
Victory
come in.
lap.
Victory lap.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened with Donna's house.
Donna's parents flipped when they saw how many people were coming to the campaign party.
Okay, so they had to move it, of course, to Brenda's apartment.
So first of all,
yeah,
why is it not moved to the Walsh's house?
Exactly.
Why does that not happen? The Walshes are in on the campaign.
They love the campaign.
So the button scene we didn't talk about, where they're fast making all the campaign
I wish we could get buttons.
Buttons. Oh, we'll make them. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
They Walsh. That's
How
what I should say.
perfect.
Let's go, Brandon, and on the back Walsh. Okay.
Yes.
That way we don't get flagged.
But also it's perfect because he had a political moment.
But there's a funny thing before Brenda finds her true artful path, to re-emphasize how ignored she is at home. She's like, I just don't feel loved. And they're like, yeah, Brendan, does this button look good?
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're fast pressing. So another hole in the writing story is why didn't they make that move?
Exactly. It's so that we could show how shitty how the apartment is falling apart.
So honestly, a vacated, repoed apartment is the best place to have a party.
I agree.
Right?
I was like, this checks out.
Yeah,
but Kelly's like, we tried to call, but the phone's disconnected. And then right as that happened, Brenda's like, hello? And then Donna puts on the water and she's like, ew. Yeah, and then the lights go out.
Yes.
And there's no food. And Kelly's like, this sucks.
So as someone who has not paid their bills, all these things don't happen at once, right? You're going to maybe lose your lights first, right?
Yeah.
Gas is like the last thing that they take away from you. And the repo people, that's like, that's months away.
Yeah, the order of operations here was
so backwards, which again, they weren't probably in the writer's room. They were watching Twin Peaks.
Yes, exactly.
Or they were trying on hats. I don't know what these people were doing this
trying
week.
On hats and watching Twin Peaks.
But the number one thought, I was like, they're not going to shut off the lights, the water, the phone, and take the furniture all on the same day. That's a health crisis.
Oh, they sure are.
No, but they do in the hills. Listen,
they do
in the mean streets of Hollywood.
They absolutely
do. Shut down.
So then Brenda and Brandon and Kelly get into a big fight right outside. And it's Brandon and Kelly versus Brenda. And Brenda's like, I'm doing me. My friends are so smart. Oh, that's the other thing is I love when Brenda went home to like grab clothes. And she's like, my new friends they're so smart. They talk about books and politics. I'm like, I'm sure no one at school talks about books.
Have you ever met Andrea Zuckerman?
Exactly.
Zuckerman?
Zuckerman.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Zuckerman.
This whole thing, it's like, I wanted to, if I could have sat Brenda down, I would have said, Brenda, this is why you don't tell people that you're starting stand-up comedy until you have some modicum of success.
Oh, of course.
When I started stand-up, it was a secret for like a year and a half.
Yeah, you don't tell anyone.
I began to make friends in stand-up that knew it wasn't a secret, but my friends and family were certainly not invited or told the venue.
I actually so I took a class when I started stand-up because I really didn't want to do stand-up. I think I told you this. I was doing Groundlings and someone suggested it because like all the Groundlings classes I wanted to do were full. So I was like, oh, let me try this. And so we did a graduation show at the Ha Comedy Club and I actually invited people.
Wait.
But I did do well.
Hold on. Didn't they film at the Ha Comedy Club this season? In 90210.
Do they?
There's an exterior shot.
Is it the Ha? I don't think has the Ha been around that long?
Yeah.
Really?
I think because they don't show the sign, but they redress it. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Hacks.
Oh, I was like in 1991.
No. There's a scene in Hacks where they've like dressed it up as like a club in Toronto or something. I'm like, that is
that's
Burbank.
That is Burbank,
and that is the Ha Comedy Club. Sorry,
that's so funny.
I smoke weed when I watch TV.
I do too. That's why I'm like always looking at my notes. I'm like, what happened next?
My favorite though is that that I'm wrong.
Well, I was like, I would know if the
My favorite is you're like, that's not true.
I was like, there's no way.
Let me consult my notes. Daniel's wrong.
Yeah, no.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So you did perform there.
So I did perform there and it went well because a lot of my friends were there, but B, I had been workshopping it in this class for like 6 or 8 weeks. So it was like, you kind of like, you write a 5-minute set with a person who has been doing it for a long
with Jack.
With Jack. Yeah. Exactly. Jack was the teacher. He wore his loud vest. Okay. So then Brenda gets into a huge fight with them and Brenda's like, Kelly, you hate whenever I get attention, which she's not wrong.
No.
I mean, fucking Kelly steals her boyfriend.
Yeah, she wears her jealousy on her sleeve. Kelly steals her boyfriend.
Yes, she's like that. Okay.
Well, okay, but Kelly she flirts with everybody.
She does flirt with everyone. She's flirty.
Yeah.
It's hard to know who Kelly's really into. But anyway, they leave, big fight. Brenda goes back into the apartment. I'm like, Brenda, you don't have to stay here anymore. Like, I think, considering that everything's been repossessed, the water, the lights, the gas, and the phone have been shut off.
What are we watching?
Why are you still staying there?
What house are we sitting?
Did they take the fish?
Was this when she screamed in the microphone and goes, "Get out"?
Wait.
At the party.
Oh,
because
yes.
David's like, how does it feel to be the sister of the candidate?
Yes, that's what happened. She screams at everyone to get out, which reminded me of when I screamed at everyone to get out at my party. Again, like the parallels are so there.
Yeah,
that was what it was like. I was like, suddenly it was so full, and I was like, get the fuck out.
This is so. It's like, who got bangs first, Justine or Brenda? Like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So this is my friend. Oh my God! One time, my friend, she rented a hotel. It was the governor's suite at the Driscoll Hotel, right? At a beautiful hotel in Austin, Texas, and it was a New Year's Eve party or some bullshit like that. She rented the room.
Okay.
Huge balcony. All of our friends come, and their friends of friends came. Right. Well, cut to it's 4 a.m, and my friend wants to go to bed, but she has a hotel room full of people.
Right.
And had to pull one of those, and everyone was like. You invited us, you know what I mean? It was like, this is your thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
It was so weird. And
weird.
I literally watched and it was New Year's, everybody's hammered.
Yeah.
And you had to watch everybody be like,
okay.
And like, I invited a bunch of people. They looked at me. It was so strange.
Oh, that's so weird.
But I've been in that. I've been the guest.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been the yeller. So
oh my God, this is crazy. I had these crazy okay, sorry. One New Year's, I had these neighbors and you could hear the party and then you heard the person have that freak out. It was in the apartment complex next to me. And I heard the person go, everybody shut the fuck up.
That was actually me. It was my party.
But then I could hear whoever couple it was, they were having the argument like in the bathroom and the window was open and that window was what was next to my apartment. So I could hear them having the
oh my God,
talk them off the cliff.
Scandalous.
It was crazy.
That's so entertaining.
And then I got to go to a New Year's party and tell everyone about it.
Yeah, you did.
It was fun.
Okay, so Brenda stays overnight.
Mm-hmm.
They go to school the next day. It's the day of the debate. I believe Brenda and Andrea are both team like not this campaign, not this way.
Man, and that's the thing. Brenda, being a chameleon again, is suddenly Andrea's friend.
Yes.
For a moment.
Yeah.
And they really relate.
They relate because I do think they have the best interests for Brandon. I do.
Oh.
No?
Oh, what? As in they both want to fuck him? Is that it? Because they do.
I just think they know that this is not him. The way Kelly's having him do the campaign.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
He's twisting himself into a pretzel to be a candidate
I
he doesn't even
think
recognize.
they know him better.
Yes.
Kelly is superficial.
So there's a debate. Well, first of all, Brandon and the candidate have a little tete-a-tete where the guy admits that his opponent admits that he's a veteran of these campaigns.
Yeah.
Which, how many campaigns could it be? 3?
3. And he said he's lost
all of them. Which, gotta admire that spunk.
Yeah, exactly. But he gives Brandon all these ideas.
Mm-hmm. But Brandon, I think, is realizing that he is not the candidate that everybody wants him to be.
Right.
Which I can't believe we were just talking about this, the Manchurian candidate, but this has like lots of ties of people who want someone to be in charge for ulterior motives.
Of course.
Angela Lansbury, do you hear me? Oh, yeah,
yes,
she's dead.
She's dead.
But yeah, so it's all coming to the surface at the debate.
Yes, it is coming to the surface at the debate. They go out and debate. Brandon's first order of business is he goes, every Friday, I'm going to hire rock bands to come in at lunch. And then he's defeated so easily. Michael Miller's like, okay, how do you propose to implement this? And Brandon okay, you should actually be the president.
So when he says rock bands every Friday, did you clock the applause break that he got?
Oh, yeah.
It's like 11 or 12 seconds of primetime television.
Oh, it's so good.
It's this uproarious, like, people are losing their shit.
They are ready.
Swinging from the rafters.
Yeah.
And they want it. And you're right. Not only does he not have... His opponent says there's a lot of red tape involved.
Right.
And when he hands the candidacy over to the guy...
Yeah.
Did you see the reaction from the crowd where they all go...
I know. Well, I get it. Mitch made a good point. Kelly spent like 2 weeks of her life,
making name tags.
Making posters.
Listen, welcome to politics.
Yeah, welcome to politics. But also, I love that Kelly's whole plan was like, just tell them what they want to hear. Who cares if you can do it or not?
Yeah, but it honestly, Donna was the one who was also like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think Donna is that politically savvy.
I don't either.
Not even savvy enough to be like disappointed by what's happening in the debate.
Right.
But it turns on a dime.
It does turn on a dime. And Andrea and Brenda are like, that's our guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so then we cut to the fallout. It's time.
Oh my God.
Brenda had a brief chat with Sky. Sky's like, oh, I needed money from my parents, whatever.
Yeah.
You know. But then Brenda goes to do her routine at the Fallout. And she doesn't know that anyone's coming, but she goes and she crushes. She talks about how she's like, it ends with like, I need to figure out who I am first before I get to be on my own. Like,
it's a monologue.
It is a monologue.
It's not.
But I also love the murmurs and the talking. Did you hear the
there's lots of like,
and there are people being like, yeah, that's the idea. Like people are saying stuff.
They're recognizing themselves.
They are.
They're relating. Brenda's reflection.
They are relating.
Because the poignant words of Brenda Walsh.
Yes.
Not the comedic talents.
No.
Not the unrehearsed timing.
No.
The natural sense of timing that she has. Can we talk about her delivery?
Yes.
Well, her white-faced makeup, like, what is this blue light? It is very Twin Peaks.
It is very Twin Peaks.
Like, she should have been saying it all backwards.
Yes.
Right? In reverse.
Yeah.
Can you name me one Brenda Walsh joke?
Wait. I think.
No,
fuck.
Does her comedy stay with you? Is why I asked.
I feel like I wrote it down, but now I can't. I can't remember though.
Exactly, because none of it was comedy.
Wait, let me. Okay. Brenda's at the follow. I mean, no, I didn't write. Oh, she's like, yeah, no.
Oh, I moved out of my house, so my brother took over my room.
Yeah.
Double the pleasure, double the fun, right?
Oh.
That's a punchline.
Yes, that is a punchline.
Something like that.
Well, she says she's a twin. The punchlines are bad, but they're crushing.
Oh, maybe I missed the setup.
Yeah.
So she's making a double mint gum joke.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Well, now I feel stupid.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Look, I didn't remember all I wrote down. I just looked. It wasn't like what was it? POW. Permanently outcast wuss. It wasn't like a genius bit like that. Like all I wrote down was she decides to go back home.
She's going home.
She goes home. Yes. Yeah. And it all resolves. And everyone supports her. Kelly goes with David even to watch her do her set.
Again, even he has to cash in the date that she promised him.
He has to make good.
And then he puts his arm around David puts his arm around Kelly and goes, ugh, like.
Yeah. She's like, don't push your luck.
Which you got yourself in the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a killer ponytail.
She does.
Did you notice that?
Good pony.
Really hard. When you have a ponytail on top of your head, it's really hard not to look like a clown.
It is.
She looks really
good. She looks good.
But the Walsh parents show up, and they're very proud of her. Everyone's like
proud of her.
Is he there?
Dylan brings flowers. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I love Dylan's never there for most of the episode, and then just comes in at the end.
Well, they know him at the Fallout.
Yeah.
They know he's known there.
Yes.
Yeah, it kind of has a really fizzly end.
It does. It just kind of fizzles.
Yeah, there wasn't anything exciting about it.
What do you rate this one?
It was so funny. Okay, so Brenda's set is 2 mega burgers.
Okay.
Right? But Donna for the Daisies, I'll give it, for all the writing problems, this is a 3. It's a 3.
Interesting. I'm going to give it a 5. Just because I just felt so seen. Like, as a stand-up comic.
As a woman with bangs, as a comic with bangs. Brenda wore a lot of red in this. And for, honestly, Donna's hair flip and the daisies and the guy's vest, and there was just so much. Like, I had to keep stopping, like, every other minute to write down notes. None of Brenda's jokes, but, like, other notes. Very true.
Know?
So I, believe it or not, did take a bunch of notes. And then every time I do, it's just this weird, inane, like, schizophrenic thing. But the 2 things I wrote down in my notes was when early in the episode when Steve and Brandon are spitballing about campaign things, campaign slogans. Steve goes, he doesn't like the idea. He goes, man, that's not gonna flush.
Yeah,
I love that. Have you heard that term?
No.
I love that term. Like a bad idea. Oh man, that's never gonna flush.
And also, I love this girl in orange that he's enamored with the whole episode.
She has a citrus thing.
She's
only
hot
wears
too.
Orange. Yeah. Oh, that's the scene where he's wearing the green shirt. Because I was like, orange and green. That's so flattering.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll give it that. I think everyone in this episode is exposing their weakest character flaws.
Yes.
Steve is corrupt. Brandon's a narcissist.
Oh yeah, Steve offers to stuff the ballot. He's like, I would have stuffed the ballot.
All that. Yeah. They all had these weird cheating ways to make him a success.
Yeah, but so many laughs, just like LOLs throughout for me. Not on purpose, of course, but
I'll take it back. I will rate this one 5 mega blazers.
Okay, great. Well, on that note, you guys, what did you think of this one? Did you like Brenda's set? Do you remember any of her jokes?
Is it comedy?
Is it comedy?
What is comedy?
Let us know. Rate and review. Thank you so much.
Tip your baristas.
Tip your baristas so they don't get their possessions taken away, lights
bills.
out, water's
off.
All of it at the same time.
Phone's
Guys,
dead.
we'll see you next time on Glitter and Garbage. Bye.
Bye.
Glitter and garbage.